Hello, everybody, and welcome to your first screencast of the 2016-17 school year. Today we're going to be reviewing about how to make a point when writing paragraphs for argumentation. And this is going to be the most common form of writing you're going to do this year, and certainly the most common form of writing that you're going to encounter when you study further outside of high school. What do you do when your teacher says, write a paragraph that uses words, phrases, or elaborated textual evidence to support your position? Is this you? Well, don't worry. Today, after this brief screencast, you're going to feel like a pro. And when you encounter the practice paragraph a little bit later today, you'll be able to return to this video as many times as you need in order to be successful. You remember this acronym, don't you? CSET? Well, Mrs. Zerbato and I felt it would be a good idea to review it one more time, just to make sure each section of this kind of writing is super clear. A CSET, as you remember, starts with a claim. A claim is basically a position that you're taking, and it's going to explain what the paragraph is going to prove. So let's do that with an example. Small amounts of dark chocolate are much better for a person than milk chocolate. That's my claim. That's what I'm going to set out to prove. Now, I'm going to need to convince you with some evidence, right? But before I put that evidence, I'm going to need you to understand where that evidence is coming from. And that's what we like to call the setup or the support. That's going to be the background information that you, the reader, are going to need to best understand the evidence that the writer is going to include. So things like titles, dates, authors, that's going to help orient your reader to what is essential. So let's take a look at an example of a setup before, remember, I end up putting that evidence in. For several decades, dark chocolate has been touted as having beneficial properties for people. In 2003, WebMD.com interviewed physician Dirk Taubert. He and his colleagues at the University of Cologne, Germany, published a report in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Taubert stated, so what did I do in that setup? Well, you're going to notice that I included titles like WebMD and the Journal of the American Medical Association. I also included dates. The article came out in 2003. I also gave you a little bit of background about Dirk Taubert, that he's a physician, that he works in Germany. All of that stuff helps you understand the evidence that you're going to later encounter. So now you're ready for the evidence, and here it is. Remember, your evidence is proof. Your evidence can be a word, evidence can be phrases, or it can be short or extended quotes, but it doesn't have to be a quote. It can be paraphrased too. You're going to experience both in this class. So here's the evidence that I found to best support my claim that dark chocolate is better for you than milk. Dark chocolate, not white chocolate, lowers blood pressure. It is also a potent antioxidant. Antioxidants gobbles up destructive molecules that are implicated in heart disease and other ailments. Our findings indicate that milk may interfere with the absorption of antioxidants from chocolate, and may therefore negate the potential health benefits that can be derived from eating moderate amounts of dark chocolate. So notice here that there are 3 dots. Those 3 dots have a name. They're called ellipses, and you can use that when you want to cut out some of the text that you don't want to include. So Mr. Taubert or Dr. Taubert did not go exactly in this order. There was text deleted here, and there was text deleted here. And you can do that by simply putting in an ellipse, which is 3 dots. Okay, so I've got my claim, my setup, here's my evidence. What's next? After my evidence, you're going to do something that you probably haven't done before. You're going to have to alert the reader where you got this information with something called an in-text citation. And there are 2 ways to do that. There's the MLA format and the APA format. The MLA format is going to be used for papers that have to do with English literature or American literature or literature in general. Most of you aren't going to be English majors in college, although some of you will. And if that's you, you'll be using MLA format. But since many of you are going to have degrees outside of that major, you'll have to use something called the APA format. The APA format is as follows. If there is an author's name, you use the author's name. But because this article came from the internet and it had no author, you use the title when there is no author. Then you must put the year, and then you must put the page. So it came from an article called Dark Chocolate. It was written in 2003, and it was on page 1. If there is no page number in your source, you have to put the paragraph number. Okay? And that is how to do an in-text citation for APA format. All right, so I've got those pieces that are essential to a paragraph. What's last? Well, the last part is the T. It's called the tie-in. This is the most critical part of the paragraph. It's going to analyze my evidence and explain why it matters. Why is it important? What does it prove? Or how does it support your claim? Here's the example. When purchasing chocolate, it is wise to opt for dark over milk. The health benefits from this simple choice could have life-saving or extending effects, so long as one remembers the word moderate. Well, if you notice there in the tie-in, I explained to my reader why it matters to buy dark chocolate over milk chocolate. Without the tie-in, the paragraph has absolutely no weight. Okay, so let's tie it all together. Small amounts of dark chocolate are much better for a person than milk chocolate. For several decades, dark chocolate has been touted as having beneficial properties for people. In 2003, WebMD.com interviewed physician Dirk Taubert. He and his colleagues at the University of Cologne, Germany, published a report in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Taubert stated, "Dark chocolate, not white chocolate, lowers blood pressure. It is also a potent antioxidant. Antioxidants gobble up destructive molecules that are implicated in heart disease and other ailments. Our findings indicate that milk may interfere with the absorption of antioxidants from chocolate and may therefore negate the potential health benefits that can be derived from eating moderate amounts of dark chocolate." Dark chocolate, 2003, page 1. When purchasing chocolate, it is wise to opt for dark over milk. The health benefits from this simple choice could have life-saving or extending effects, so long as one remembers the word moderate. So now you may be asking, why is the evidence formatted in this separate-looking paragraph? Well, when a piece of quoted evidence is more than 40 words, you must indent the entire quote, and then you put the in-text citation directly after the period. Notice there are no quotation marks. So remember, you're going to do that when the quote is 40 words or more. So what about if it's less than 40 words? Well, in that case, you put the quotation marks around the quote. It is embedded in the paragraph, and the in-text citation comes before the period. Why do they do that? I don't know, but that's just the way it's going to roll out, and that's what you're going to have to remember at the college level. So remember, you embed the quote if it's less than 40 words. Okay, everybody, that's a CSET review. If you need to return to this screencast, it will be located in your Schoology folder. We've also uploaded this PowerPoint as a standalone so that you don't have to listen to the whole thing again. Thanks for watching.